Hi, I'm Veronica Lysett.
Hi, I'm Isabel Mas.
I really want to thank you for volunteering to be on your trade show booth. I appreciate your time and dedication that you give to ICF, and so delighted that you're proud of what you're doing and that you want to help us to promote the art and science of coaching. We are the gold standard in coaching, and as you know, because you're part of it. And I would really like to ask Isabel about some of the ways that we can actually show that.
Well, as you can see, you can wear some ICF branding. So if you have a badge or if you have anything that relates to the ICF, it can be your credentialing badge. It can be just an ICF badge. Make sure that people see that you are representing the ICF in this journey.
I tell you what, one of my tricks of the trade is I always wear the corporate colours. Sorry, I haven't got them on today, but normally I dress them blue and white, and that helps us stand out as being ICF too, if that's useful.
Yeah. Also another possibility, if you don't have, any ICF official badge or whatever, it's very easy, just to create a little paper badge that you put under a plastic with your name and an ICF logo. The ICF logo are available on a website. At least people see that you are officially having a presence on the booth, and they can also address their question more easily.
So one of the interesting things about ICF is that we have around 32,000 members worldwide. That fluctuates a little bit, but it's sitting around that number. And of those, about 70% hold a credential. So that's either an ACC or a PCC or an MCC. Now, those credentials are really important, as we've spoken about, because they prove that we hold a standard. One of the best stories that I heard, well, Isabel, you can tell me this one. I think it came out of the Netherlands, wasn't it? Where they talked about an interview saying, how do you prove it? It's like auditioning, if you're asking somebody to audition for an orchestra.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a beautiful metaphor, which has been used by a chapter president on a radio interview when she was actually explaining the difference between the ICF credentialing and other credentialing from other associations who are actually not really auditing or having exams or having assessments as we do. And sometimes people think, yeah, ICF credentialing is complicated, but the metaphor was beautiful. If you're a maestro and you're having an orchestra and you need to have a violist, would you actually put on a violist during one of the biggest concerts without having an audition first and without listening to him?
No, of course you wouldn't. So that's what we do. We make sure that there is an audition, and that's why we have the highest standards. So when you're on the trade show booth, one of the most important things is you have all these people walking past you, and it's a little bit difficult to say, hi, how are you? So sometimes I just start with catching their eye and simply saying, hi, how are you doing? I'm Veronica, holding out my hand if that's appropriate in your culture, and saying, we're here from ICF. Isabel's got some tips as well.
Well, what I would suggest is that you ask them firstly, do you know what ICF is? And of course, well, hopefully they will say yes, but if they say no, then you have a very good thing that you can tell them is that, we've got nothing to sell to you. We are a non-profit association. We are just here all volunteers. And mostly you get their attention because they're just asking yourself, oh, you're volunteering. Why are you volunteering? So at least you catch them.
The things that people ask as they come by are about membership, and they're also about credentialing. How do I become a coach? What do I need to do to become a coach? What's the best way of getting there? And because we are the gold standard in coaching and we advertise ourselves as such, and we're talking about credentials, then talking about credentials is a big part of that. We've got some information that'll be able to help you. And Isabel has lots of tips about how to do that as well.
Well, the ideal situation, of course, would be that you have a Wi-Fi connection. If you have a Wi-Fi connection, then I would definitely recommend you to have the ICF website already on your screen, on your mobile, or on an iPad, a tablet, or whatever, so that you can guide people through. Because, as you know, credentialing is a little bit complicated. We have a lot of paths to follow. So it's actually really into asking people what kind of journey they are actually into, and then you can easily guide them through a website.
Okay, Thanks, Isabel, because I think they're really important. I mean, people do want to have some information that they can walk away with. So maybe if you have the flyers that are there that are available to them, that's useful as well. Because you've had a lot of experience doing this, Isabel, haven't you?
Absolutely. And one thing is for sure, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people walking by, so you're not going to have the time to spend half an hour or an hour with just one person. So I would definitely recommend you to shorten the conversation. Make sure you get a business card, and that you find a system with your leader on site, with your chapter, on how you manage to collect all the information, and that you also mention precisely what kind of information this person was counting to get after the event, so that you can follow up with them.
And one of the things, talking about business cards, one of the things that's important for me is to remember that you're representing ICF. So although you are personally going to take that card and you may say, oh, well, that's interesting, I'd be interested in that as a coach, fine. And it also has that information is for ICF. So just to pass on to your chapter leaders.
Yeah, it's really important that you, and it's also important for the chapters to measure the results of your presence. And business cards are really a good way to measure the results. It's also a good way to be able to contact people, because if they give you the business cards, it's because they want to stay in touch. So it's really, really important that you find a way in gathering these in a safe way. So please don't leave the business cards unattended. Find the right place to store them at the end of each day, or give them to one person.
Tell me a little bit about what the value and benefit of being a member are.
Well, of course, when you're on booth, you will actually meet several publics. So it's very important that you know exactly how to address the public. So you're going to probably meet, first public you may meet are the coaches. And of course, within the coaches, you will have the ones who know ICF or are members. Then you will have all the ones who are not ICF or do not know about the ICF. So I think it's very important that you highlight the membership benefits, what it means for a coach to belong to an international association as ICF, that we are the golden standards, that we have the only one recognized and independent credentialing system. It's really important that you also speak to them about being proud of being ICF, being proud to relay this message to their clients, because altogether we are helping, making sure that the corporate world is more and more aware about the ICF. So if you want to know more about the ICF member benefits, of course, I can guide you through the website and I will share the link with you. But it's definitely that you are networking with peers, that you also have the possibility to belong to your chapter. So feel free and make sure that they also know that you have a chapter where they can belong to and they can affiliate to. They can participate to events. They can actually get access to a lot of ICF researches, which are free of charge for ICF members. And speaking about researchers, I think, Veronica, it's a good way for you to go on to the next target people, which we are going to probably meet on a trade show.
So, and thank you, Isabel. And another group that you will meet is the people who are there from organizations, from all sorts of different organizations who turn up at a trade show booth. So if you are talking to someone who's from a corporate, they're going to be interested in different things. They're going to be concerned that if they employ a coach or if they hire a coach, that that person is going to do the job well. And that's where we come in with our credentials, because our credentials ensure that the coach is operating to a particular standard. And if they don't operate to that standard, then there's a review process. So that to me is really important. And also one of the things that in my experience that corporates want to know about is research, because the research shows them what's happening in the world of coaching, particularly the HCI research, the coaching awareness study. So those sorts of information is available for organizations or for individuals as well.
Absolutely, Veronica. And I would also encourage you to offer all the companies who are asking information to go on our website on the research section, where they can download all the summary of these reports, and especially also the Human Capital Institute ones, which we have done together with the ICF and them, which really is focusing on implementing coaching cultures in companies and corporations. So this is really a very useful tool, which can be useful as well to set the bar of the golden standards on an ICF booth.
And lastly, I'd just like to thank you again very much for your time and effort and your dedication to ICF. It's been a joy to be able to have you on these booths and to know that the banner for ICF is being carried and that doing it with such confidence. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time and your dedication. We wish you a lot of success, a lot of contacts, and a lot of great follow-up after this trade show.